Hi everyone, welcome to Handcuff Status podcast. My name is Rue Baby. I'll be your host for today. Join us on our mission to continue breaking the chains of injustice. Today we'll be discussing visitation and mental health, what it means, and the effect caused by the criminal justice system. We have an exclusive interview with Caspy from Montreal, Quebec. We are so thrilled to have you, Caspy. Hi.
Thank you. Sorry about that, because you were talking and then like somebody called my phone because I'm using my phone, so like I'm just gonna put that shit on it. Not
No worries.
this.
No worries.
I'm all yours now.
But introduce yourself a little. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from.
Hey man, my name is Caspy. You know what I'm saying? Full name Caspy El Diza. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Montreal, Westside 6'8". You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up in Montreal. Did most of my life in Montreal. I graduated high school in the GTA area in Saga. You know what I'm saying? Did a little bit of time in 5 and 10. You know what I'm saying? 3 years. And then after high school, you know what I'm saying? Like for kids that you know what I'm saying that don't really get the chance, you know what I'm saying, to pursue whatever career they want to pursue, like you know what I'm saying, university or like post high school, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I found myself back in the streets doing stuff with the street guys. So you know, I did time for it. So in total, most of my like in my entire 20s, I did about like close to 7 years. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying, but I keep it up though. Like you know what I'm saying, I do art, music. I do comic books too, and I do a little bit of acting too. So that's a little bit about me.
All right, thank you for sharing that, especially, the little background that you originally were um born in Montreal, but you did spend some time in Rexdale, but then went back to Montreal and then served your time in Montreal, correct?
Never did jail in Ontario, so you know what I'm saying, I don't know how the whole system works provincial wise in other provinces, but like you know what I'm saying, after high school, came back to Quebec, got back with the homies, and then you know what I'm saying, one thing led to another.
How was your visitation experience when you were incarcerated?
Well, this one was different. Well, it was different than the first one. First and foremost, because there was the whole COVID thing going on. Like I got arrested before the whole COVID thing happened, and I got released like after COVID happened. So like the whole COVID thing like already put like a let's say like another barrier like for people that already have to face barrier when they want to come see people in jail. And then for my side of things, like personally, like I got like one visit. Yeah, in those 4 years, I got like one visit. So like when it comes to visitation as a personal experience, my first bit I had visits, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the whole time I got visitations from everyone. But like my second bid, it was pretty much like a long time, right?
So, just for the audience to be on the same page with you, what year were you incarcerated? Because COVID started in 2020. So, were you arrested in 2020?
No, I was arrested October 19, 2019. October 17th, I think. October 17th, 2019.
Okay, okay. So you
And
were
then I was released February 2023.
okay, okay. So, how was the visitation before the COVID situation happened? Was that visitation that you had, that one visit, was it during COVID or was it before?
My first visitation was like in December. So basically it's like since it's a provincial system, right, you don't get like contact visit unless it's like you're on the list of good behavior and it's like you have to wait every 3 months if you get to like actually hug your people or whatnot. But regular visit is like you just go to like a big room full of like glass windows, and then you can talk to people either through a hole or with a phone. But like the prison where I was at, border in Montreal, is through a hole. So it's basically a little hole, not like people will think like an actual hole where you could put your hand or it's just like a bunch of small little like holes into a metal plate. And then you could talk to your people and whatnot, but everybody's like that, right? You don't really feel a certain way of talking to your people like that, really, when you look around, because everybody's just, has visitations for everyone, right? So
So
that's pretty much how visitation goes.
So for visitation, you're not able to actually physically touch anyone. You're only able to see them through a little glass mirror, glass screen, and then little holes where you can hear them from.
Well, it's not per se. I wouldn't say like it's a little glass screen. Like it's literally like a huge like plexiglass wall,
Mhm.
but it's just like because at the same time, right? It's 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 for security purposes, right? It's for the guards to be able to see what everyone is doing and whatnot. So they have it set up like that. But like already, like when it comes to provincial, and like I don't know how it is in other provinces, but like in Montreal, like in Quebec, before you used to be able to have like your friends, like anybody that used to want to come visit you, like
Mhm.
they could come visit you. But since there was a whole lot that passed because like there was something about like a guy that killed somebody and cut his body into pieces that went to like some sort of prison and like he had a bunch of like females sending him like money and love letters. They just cut it out. So now like it just became like your close family members, your relative, and then like it has to be like a blood connection. They have to prove that your family with you. And then if it's not that, it has to be the mother of your children and with your children. You know what I'm saying? So already of that, like a couple of people was taken off the list. Like your friends cannot come see you. If you have family members that have criminal records or like active ongoing cases, they can't come see you. And then after that, it's just a system of just like seeing you people through a glass. But every 3 months or so, like you get like contact visits. So it's like a special time where you can get to like see your people. There's like a chair and you can sit in front of them, but it's like you have to stay sitting on the chair the whole time. But at the beginning, you have like 5 minutes. You can hug your people, talk to your people, like physically before and after.
I'm definitely going to come back to you and ask you specifically about that one visit that you had. But in regards to that new law that was passed, how do you think that will impact the mental health of people who've been incarcerated, or you specifically, with that new law that was passed while you were incarcerated that stopped friends from coming? It had to strictly only be family members. And just the second question is to confirm that this law is like only for Montreal um, people who are in that region, or is it the whole of Quebec?
No, basically it's the whole of Quebec because the way it goes, it's like Quebec is just it sees itself as its own nation. So like, it's the whole of like the Quebec provincial jail system, which is like would be like the equivalent of like county jail in the States, right?
Mhm.
But like the way the whole like because me my first bid was in 2015. I got arrested 2015 in April and I got released 2018 in January. And then already that whole law was already in effect. So I never went through the whole everybody can come see you. But from talking to people that went through that era or like just some people that I knew that did time in like let's say Ontario where all your friends can come see you, I could tell there was a difference because at the end of the day, it's like some people, and it's true, like your family is your family, but it's not a chosen family. It's the family you come from. And
Mhm.
some people, they just go through life and have stronger bonds with friends than they have with some of their own family members. Some people, they don't have siblings and they're pretty much orphans. So the only thing they have is friends. So when you cut that out, you know what I'm saying, for people that don't have like no family reach to reach them, it's different. Like even me on my second bit, when I didn't get no visitation from like family and shit, sorry for my language, but it's like a couple of friends they wanted to come see me, but they couldn't. So I understand. I understand the way I understand the way it carries.
How do you think this will impact the mental health of the inmates, and how this would make them feel while they're in their jail cell, knowing that they can't see friends that they've adopted as family members?
Well, the thing is this, right? The worst punishment I realize is like it's like number one, it's taking time away from somebody because that's the only thing you cannot like get back. You can't get re-up. You can't re-up time. And then the second worst punishment is secluding somebody from society, which is the reason why I realized that back in the days, like instead of like having jail sentences, they used to like exile people for a certain amount of years or whatnot. That's the same thing. It just exclude you from society because we're social creatures, right? So when you're here and then you're basically like excluded from society, and then you watch the news and they view you because now you're a number, you're a criminal, you're this, you're that. They view you certain ways. You already have friends that openly turn their back on you. And the fact you're able to see the rest, you pretty much feel loneliness to like the fullest extent, right? So it's like there's nothing really like that motivates you to like want to be a better person when you think the whole world is against you because they see you as like a villain. So you have to be strong minded for that. But like a lot of guys they fold. So sometimes when you hear about like violence in jail, it's about petty stuff. Like somebody's like, remember when you were like in elementary school, they used to pass like every morning. They used to like give kids those little like 2 liters of like or whatever, like 2 minute like 200 milliliters of like little like milk thing, the little milk
Yeah, little milk
cardboard thing.
tea. Yeah, yeah. Or like
Yeah,
or a snack like a granola bar for breakfast sometimes.
exactly. Those little snacky things, right? So it's
Yeah.
like in jail, like somebody could put a little milk tea like in the fridge, and the next morning it's not there, and it ends up violent, and somebody could die over it. But little did you know, the whole time he's been thinking about his ex-girlfriend that left him because he's in jail. His family that don't come see him. You know what I'm saying? It's just that little droplet that make, you know what I'm saying, the water pitcher just overflow, right?
It's like a tick bomb kind of thing because of, the poor treatment in regards to mental health. Is there any mental health support in the jail system?
Well, honestly,
Yeah.
there's not like, yeah. There's not no like therapists, but like there's always those little programs, right? There's always those programs that like if you sign up for it, like it teaches you how to like to deal with it. Like that's why me like I became just such a like calm and collected person. Like I do not hold grudge against no one. I do not like you know what I'm saying have none of the like anger inside me that like it's like certain people say I should have for not seeing nobody for like 4 years. But it's mostly like because like I have my own will and my own mentality. And on top of that, there's still some sort of like resources that are available to you that you can go through in the jail system that makes it easier for you to understand. Because even though like I could say that I'm somebody that has a I have strong mental capabilities, like in the sense of like you know what I'm saying focus and consistency. Like I'm still a human being, right? So there's still going to be some component that I'm going to lack. So having those programs they really help. So you actually like learn a couple stuff about like how to understand that the world is just not it's not your world and you're not somebody that just exists because in my head I want you to exist and this is the matrix. You know what I'm saying you're your whole human being that comes from somewhere that have your own history or ups and downs, you know. So when you understand that, you start to not like feel anger towards certain people. So
Mhm.
of course having tools like this around you will help because honestly like outside it's a lot of people that they just don't reach out to these things, especially when you don't have the time. You have to spend all this money and you have to like, pay the bills and everything. You don't have the time outside. You don't have the time in jail. Or the only thing you have is time. So when these things are just there, and some guys like they just to get out of the range, like you know what I'm saying, they're just like you know what I'm saying, like yo, like I've been in the range like doing jail time for 2 years. Let me just try this program. It's an 8 month program. Let me just walk out of the range and see something different. And it leads to them understanding more and then they become different people. You know what I'm saying I wouldn't say entirely different people, like but I'm saying like the mentality will upgrade to a certain level, right?
I kind of want to jump in and just ask, so that program that they did have, you feel that that program helped you, that it's a beneficial program that should stay, or do you think that there should be something more in place?
Of course, I'm going to say that it helped because there is no case where it is detrimental.
Mm.
Any type of way you would feel about it, trying to get some help or trying to like just get some understanding or just basic knowledge of just how society works as a whole or just it is like you should understand how like other people like feel or think when you interact with them to avoid certain situation that's all things you learn from the program. All these things are beneficial. if
Mhm.
if not, then It's just because you already know about these things, but it cannot be detrimental to know about these things. So of course, it helped. But at the same time, the peer pressure of them wanted you like wanting them like that, like the peer pressure of them wanted to make sure that their program works. They kind of force it to a point where like certain people they have like they hate it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I want to be a better person. I'm willing to learn, but the way you make it seem is if I don't do it, I'm a bad person. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. And even when I come out, you might force me to keep doing the program. So at that point, it becomes a burden more than anything else. The way I see it, they just have to approach the whole program thing in a different way instead of just making it look like it's a class you got to go to school and go to school. If not, you don't graduate. That's what I feel like. It's not that they should add something to it. They should upgrade something about it. You know what I'm saying? So
like change
that's my personal view about it.
Kind of review it and get some feedback, and then do a new type of way of initiating it into the prison, right? Is that where the angle? Because it is beneficial. I wouldn't want it to leave the jails, the prisons or jail in general, because mental health is a well-needed thing while you're incarcerated, especially if you're not getting much visits. So I could understand the need of it, but the approach is also important, because if it's not effective, it's not going to reach out to the masses. You said that you only had one visit. Are you able to share with us why you might think that may be?
Well, that one visit was from like basically like my now ex-girlfriend. That was my girlfriend at the time. And she was a good girl, right? So it's like her being with somebody that was like me, it was just her like, you know what I'm saying, taking a chance on someone like me. I really, you know what I'm saying, I really like this girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was the type of guy I was in jail, always talking about how praising, giving praise to her and whatnot. But then it came to a point where it was like the pressure was too much, the stress was too much, you know what I'm saying? So you can't really like expect people to just, you know what I'm saying, tug it out the way you're supposed to tug it out, or you expect you to tug it out, or that you do tug it out, you know what I'm saying? I had, but like that whole visit was basically somebody that came to try to like, hold it together and let me know that listen, I am trying my best to hold it, but I feel like I'm alone, and I need you to give me something to hold on. If not, I need to go my way. And the reason why I felt like it was my only visit is because basically after that the COVID thing happened, and before that, even a couple months after it was before that, it was just a lot of things going on around everybody. You know what I'm saying that's in my life. Like I come from a family that is just we go through stuff, right? So it's like example, as I'm talking to you right now, and I'm on parole and I'm finishing my parole. Like my little brother, like the youngest one of the family, like my mom had 6 kids, right? And the youngest one, he's in jail right now fighting a murder case. He hasn't been like convicted yet, but like you know what I'm saying, like he's into a whole situation. So it's like I cannot like you know what I'm saying hold no weight on no one because I know that my people, even like friends and whatnot, and relatives and people from far and whatnot, and girlfriends, everybody has to go through their own struggle. So hey, like you know what I'm saying, it's a different experience too to come to jail because you have to understand something that people don't understand, right? You see, I might come to jail and do 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, even 25 years. But these guards that work in the jail system, they've been here like for like 20 years, 30, 40 years. So some of them like they're pretty much lifers, and it's by choice. And if you want it or not, the interaction that we have with the guards is not friendly. It's like talking to the police. It's just a whole bunch of swearing and cussing and you know what I'm saying? Imagine this, you work like your job is coming to work every day and hearing go F yourself. You know what I'm saying, you piece of whatnot. You pig, whatnot, every single day of your life. So these guys, they have the tendency to be aggressive, the guards, right? So even when you deal with the visitors and shit. Like my girlfriend, that one time that she came, the first thing she told me is, the guards are so mean. Why are they so mean? And I was like, listen, I don't like. It's just the way they interact on a daily basis with inmates makes it so that they're aggressive people on themselves too. Like the whole jail environment takes its toll on both sides, on the inmate side and on the guard side.
What kept you sane throughout your time being incarcerated with just having that one visit?
I met my dad when I was about like 5 years old. They knew who he was, so I told him I didn't want to go to his house. He left crying. From that point, I spent most of my childhood trying to go to his house. I went there a couple of times and called him a few times, but most of the times, like, every time I called him, he never picked up, he never showed up. So that thing started that to make me understand that, you know what I'm saying, people might not show up for you. Added to that, my mom in the struggle and the financial struggle to raising 6 kids by her own made it so that we never lived more than 3 years anywhere in my life. Like till this day, I'm 30 years old. I never lived more than 3 years anywhere. So that made it so that friends, to me, it's only a few friends that I managed to keep till this day. Most of them were just the neighborhood, right? I'm saying like just the I'll say the whole the section. But when it comes to like my like just regular like childhood friends or whatnot, people I went to school with or whatnot, most of them I don't talk to them no more because I was just somebody that passed by in their life while most of them like they know each other for a while, right? So it was always a different like thing for me to just keep people into my life. So a lot of times, like even with my mom having 6 kids, I was always like alone by myself doing my own thing. Sometimes going to my father's house, sometimes moving on my own, sometimes just, you know what I'm saying, being outside. So I pretty much became a lone wolf from like since I was since I was a kid. So coming to jail, and especially being my second time being older, I already knew how the system worked. I already knew how the whole thing worked. Of course, it has its weight, but knowing how I come from and knowing what mentality it brought up to me, I just to put it in like just simple. Like I have the brain to just tug it out. Like to me, it's just always been I'm used to it. Like I don't even like just to make it like not to be like too deep into it. I don't even know what it is to be in relationship with a female for like a year. Like my longest relationship was like probably like 5 months. So to me, it's like connecting with people is not something like that I have like that I always knew on the long term. Even connected to places, the only thing I always connected to was, like I said, like the other side of my life. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically like the reason that kept me sane. It's just that the habit. You know what I'm saying? Like just being used to an environment where like it's just me and myself and I and my back against the wall. So I told myself if it's that amount of time I have to do, then I'll just do it and get out because I'm surrounded, especially in the penitentiary, you're surrounded with people that have to do life in prison. So when you put that in perspective, sorry, like to have no visit is not that bad. It's really not. It's really not because yeah, it could be worse. You know what I'm saying? I remember like one of the homies, he told me the ranger was cleaning the ranger, he told me like yo, Caspy, honestly, between you and me, you're lucky like that you don't have to do like a lot of time. Like he's like not lucky because I don't want nobody to be doing time, but he's like I'm glad for you, like I'm happy for you that you don't have to do a lot of time because like the way I see that everybody's going to visit but you, like it would have been tough for you to be doing like 10, 15, 25 years because it's harsh. It's hard for me. Like, you know, so he's serving the 15. He still sees people. He's like, I still see my people, and it's harsh on me. So imagine just doing time and not seeing your people. But to me, my answer was simple. It is what it is.
I thank you so much for sharing that, Caspi. I see you as a strong individual, and I'm hoping the best for you,
Thank you.
no matter what others will say. You have a future ahead of you, period. And I see beautiful stars for you, man. Is there anything else you would like to share before we conclude?
The one thing I always tell people is like bad people don't exist. It's just bad choices. So when you have people going through stuff, people that might be incarcerated still show up because it's funny and it's all fun and all games when you're young and whatnot to just live your life through social media and thinking that it's fun to just not, you know what I'm saying, go talk to your people and whatnot. But once you realize that actually, like when you grow older, you realize it's actually like physical connections and going to see your people, not just talking to them on the phone or liking their pictures, going to see them, meeting up with people. This is how society was always able to thrive. I'm saying we're social creatures. I'm saying this is the reason why we're so up into social media. The way I see it, don't ever turn your back on no one, even the ones that's in jail.
On behalf of Handcuff Status Inc., we would like to thank Caspy for taking the time to share his story and experience of visitation and mental health with us. Our mission is to continue breaking the chains of injustice to fully abolish the criminal justice system. And for those who are incarcerated, remember, freedom is a must. Free all the lifers, and shout out to Private Spaceship. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us at Handcuff Status Inc. on all major platforms. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next episode. Today I have here Sherry Gordon from Saskatchewan, the founder of Beyond Prison Walls Canada, and is a prisoner advocate.